what I'd like to do this morning is show you how to take some previous projects that you did in 101 with Mike Murphy, and these are isometric drawings. These are what I call faux 3D. And what you did in this class for these drawings was you had these 5 views, which was the front, top, bottom, right and left side, and you created this faux 3D drawing. And how do we know it's faux? Well, if we go into the model space and we go into our orbit here and pick it and go on its side, you can see that it's not three-dimensional truly. It's just using isometric lines to create a 3D object. And get right back into top. There we go. Now, one of the things you're going to need is you're going to need some extra little toolbars up here, and I want to show you how to get those. We go up to our command line and we type in -toolbar. Notice it comes up, and I just hit enter. And I'm going to pick one that I haven't got up here. I've got a few already up here, and I'll show you how to get those in a second. But I'm going to type in the name of a toolbar that I know, which is, how about view? Oops, I spelled it right. V-I-E-W, view toolbar. Hit enter. And then what do you want to do? You have these options. You can show it, hide it, left, right, top, bottom. I'm going to go S for show and enter. And there is the view toolbar. Now, here's the trick. Once you get one toolbar, if you right click on that toolbar, okay, again, if you right click on that toolbar, you get all the toolbars in the world show up here, every one of them. Now you can notice that I have several up here. So visual styles I have UCS2, I have layers, and I have inquiry and dimension. Okay, I want to show you about those right now. So view, I don't really need that one right now. This one here is one you would recognize, which is layers. I like to have my layers toolbar out. It's essentially right over here, but I'm so used to it being here, it keeps me from having to go up all the time because I know this one. Here is my visual styles. This is a very critical one. Orbit is really handy. You also have orbit down here in your toolbar on the right-hand side. This is inquiry, which gives me the ability to check distances very quickly. And this is the really key one. This is UCS2. I'm going to hover over the edge of it here. UCS2. That's really critical, and you want to put it on the right-hand side over here, right near the view cube, because you're going to use these two together all the time. Okay, here we go. So we're in model space already. And so what I need to do now is I need to create a 3D model of this object. And I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use the geometry. I got all the geometry right here. Mike's been very, very nice to create all this geometry. So I'm just going to use that to create my 3D object. One of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my layers. And I'm going to have that open up. And I'm going to go into construction layer. And I'm going to freeze the construction layer. And notice all those little lines went away. And that just makes it easier for me so that I don't have, it's just less geometry in the way. Anytime there's less geometry in the way, it's easier to pick things. Now I'm going to go up to home. If I haven't showed you this before, if you right click on home, we have parallel and perspective. Okay? Notice my cursor up here. Look what happened to the cursor. See how it's kind of got a little bit of a 10-degree angle on the blue line up there? And if I go right click and go parallel, it's straight up and down. Okay, I am a real fan of parallel. Okay? Perspective drives me nuts. Now to keep that, I'm going to right click. Once I have parallel picked, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go set view as current home. And that way it won't go jumping in and out. Sometimes AutoCAD wants to try and help you. And I keep telling AutoCAD, you know, quit trying to help me. I can do it myself. So here we go. Now, one of the critical things about doing any kind of 3D, and we'll just start really easy over here. I'm going to take a circle, and I'm going to draw a circle. And I'm going to draw a rectangle. And then I'm going to draw something with 4 lines. So I'm going to go get into F8 here, ortho. And I'm going to go, how about 6? Did I get a 6 in here? 6. Ooh, 6 is big. I think I did about 666 there. Excuse me. Pick. 6, enter, and 6, enter, and 6, enter, and C for close. Okay, so now that's a rectangle or square that is 4 entities. Okay, this is a square that is a single entity, which we know is a polyline, and as we know, a circle is a polyline. Okay, so when we go over here to our modeling ribbon tab here, we go up to extrude, and I pick the circle, and I hit enter, and I come up like that. Now notice it looks like 2D lines, but here's where you want to use your visual styles. And let's jump right over here to realistic. There we go. Now we know we have a solid, okay? We have a solid, okay? Let's go over here to extrude and pick the square and raise it up. Great, we have a solid. And let's go over here and pick these 4 lines here and hit extrude. And now you can see, look at that. We're only extruding the plane. It actually is not a solid. It's what we call a mesh. Okay, it's what we call a mesh. And so what I'm going to tell you is that the way we're going to work is we're going to work in solids. It has to be a polyline. If you don't have a polyline, it is not going to work. Notice that this line here are all individual lines. Okay, so there's a couple things I could do. Number one is, first thing I'm also going to do for you is I'm going to go in here to visible lines. I'm going to change this to a color that's a little easier to see. I'm going to pick, how about that color there? Let's see how that looks. That's a little easier to see. And then on top of that, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to create a layer just for you. And I'm going to call it polyline. Poly. And I'm going to create that in a really nice bright magenta, so we know what the polylines look like. I'm going to close that back out. Okay. So I could do a couple different things. The easiest thing for me would be to go up here. I pick my polyline layer just for myself. Go right up here to, in the draw, right under annotate there. There is the polyline command. Pick. Notice it's just, okay. Let's see for close. Okay. Now I can pick that. Notice that I'm having a hard time picking through and grabbing the polyline that the existing individual entity wants to jump through. Pick it, right click, and go to draw order and send to back. Okay, now when I go over there and pick, the polyline is on top. Okay, even though I don't see it, the polyline is on top. Okay, so now I can take that polyline and to make it easy for you to see, I'm going to move, oops, excuse me. I'm going to move the polyline that we just created over here. I'm going to move it in an amount that I know. Okay, so let's pick 6. Okay, so I just moved it over 6. In case I want to move anything over to it, I can. And then we'll go to extrude, but I need to know how high I want to go. So here's where I'm going to use my inquiry tool, which is right over here, and distance. Now you could also type in DI, which is also the distance command. And I'm going to go from here to this point here, because I want the lower part of this as my first entity, because that's the main perimeter here, okay? And that distance was 1.25. So now I'm going to go to extrude, select my polyline, go enter, and 1.25, enter. So I just extruded that polyline up 1.25. In just a moment. And we're back. Okay, so now let's do another polyline here, okay? Let's go, how about this one right here? Now, I'm going to again take my, go up here and grab my polyline, pick, and see for close. And again, my polyline is underneath this, so I'm just going to grab this line, right click, and I'm going to go draw order and send to back. Now you can see my polylines right there. Okay. Now I need to know the height of this. I'm going to extrude it while it's here so you can just see it. So I need to know the height again, so I'm going to go over here and go from my inquiry to here, and that distance is 2. So I'm going to go over here to my, and pick my polyline, go to extrude, and notice I can go either way. I can go to extrude and then go pick the polyline, or pick the polyline and go to extrude. It's one of those cases that it doesn't matter. And I'm going to go in 2 and enter. Okay? And how far are we going to move it over? Okay. I'm going to move it over 6 because I moved the other one over 6. So I'm going to move it over 6, and there it is. Now you can see that this object is inside this object. Okay? And what do we want to do? We want to actually add those two objects together. But I need to do something first. I realized I made a mistake here. Now I'm going to set this aside, so I'm going to move this 3. And this has to do with the sequence that you do things. It's really important. There's a certain sequence that you have to do when you're working 3D. You're working with objects and you're adding and subtracting solids. Okay. I do want to add these solids, but not until I take care of this little beveled edge here that you see on this face, this plane right here. I need to create that, and I need to subtract it from this object. Okay. So what I'm going to do that is I'm going to draw a little extra line right over here, just like that for right now. And I'm going to go right from here to here, okay? So they just have some geometry there to work with. Now I'm going to go back to my polyline. I'm going to go pick, and then I'm going to pick, and I'm going to go C for close. There we go. And you can see there's all my stuff. I can throw this polyline away now, or not. It's not a polyline; it's just an individual line. Excuse me. Throw those two away, and there's my polyline, just out there and all. Now I need to have the width here, but since I'm going to be using it as a subtracting tool, I really don't care. It's just going to any extra width is not going to hurt anything. So I'm just going to go up here and go to extrude and just pick it, and I'm going to come up and I'm just going to go like that. I know that is wider than this piece. Okay. Now I need to rotate this piece to get it in the proper plane. Okay, here's the new magic tool that you haven't used before. It's right up here in the Modify toolbar. It's this little tool called 3D Rotate. 3D Rotate. You're going to love this little tool. Pick this, grab your entity there, hit Enter. Now, before you do anything, pick a point. I'll pick a point on the corner. Notice my little gimbal here has moved. I have this is obviously, if I pick on the blue one, it's going to rotate in this direction. If I pick on the red one, it's going to rotate in this direction. And if I pick on the green one, it's going to rotate in that direction. So I have a lot of control here of how I want this to rotate. Well, I want to rotate this up on its edge. So I want to rotate that. I'm going to pick the red one. And I'm going to go Enter. Oops. Nope. My bad. So pick it. Pick that corner, pick the red. Now, without doing anything else, type in, I think it's 90. I'm going to go one way or the other. We'll go, oh, I did it right the first time. How cool is that? Now, what I want to do here is I want to be able to see what I'm doing, and I can't, it's sometimes hard to see in solids. So I'm going to go up here to my visual styles again, and I'm going to go to 3D wireframe. I'm going to pick that. I'm going to go to move. And I'm going to grab that and put it right on that corner, okay? And if we rotate this just a little bit, you can see how that intersects that object. You guys should be using your orbit command a lot right now, just to make sure and verify that things are where they're supposed to be, because it's real easy for them not to be where you think they are. Okay, and here we go, and I'm going to hit home, and it's coming right back there. So I now know that this object is right, and it's imposed on this first piece that we created. So I'm going to go up here, and here we have a new tool that you're going to get to use. Right in Solid Editing, on the left-hand side, you have Union, which, if you think about it, what does it want to do? It puts two things together. Subtract, and intersect. We won't be using intersect, but we're going to use today subtract, okay? And union. So subtract, you pick the object you want to subtract from, enter, then reach over and grab the object you want to subtract, and then enter, and look at that. It just took it right away. It's gone. Now I'm going to move this, and I can either move an amount because I moved it 3, or I can just go from corner to corner, and there it is. Now I want to go up to Union. I'm going to do a crossing window, grab them both, and now it is a single object. And if I go into 3D wireframe here, you can see that there's all the edges. And if you want a proof of this, we can do this. We can take this and move this and put it right on top of here. And let's go up on top and look in there top. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then if I wanted to, I could take this and I could copy this. And I'm going to grab this corner back here and put it here. And then I'm going to go up and use my rotate 3D rotate. Pick my object, enter, move my gimbal to here, grab my red one, which is the red ring, and it becomes gold, and type in 90. Whoop, went the wrong way. Okay, so I'm going to undo, and I'm going to pick that again and go to 3D rotate. There's my gimbal. Pick the red, and I'm going to go minus 90 this time. It's okay to make mistakes. Now let's go back on top and take a look. There's our proof right there. All of the geometry that was in the original 2D drawing is being covered by the 3D. And you could proof it by going to all the sides, okay? You could do that, absolutely. So that's what I want you to be doing for these drawings. And here's how you're going to send them to me, okay? You're going to go into Layout. You're going to reach through and make sure this is unlocked down here. And then you're going to go Home. There we go. And while you're here, you need to go up here to, doesn't matter, any of these, as long as I can see that it's a solid, okay? We have all kinds of different things. We have realistic, we have shaded. I have an extra one here called Shades of Gray, which is my favorite, and I put that in there. But that's a whole other little video on how to put that in there. Just pick any solid like that, okay? But don't leave it as a wireframe. Don't leave it as a wireframe. And then save this drawing, just about like that. That's all I want to see. So I'm going to throw this one away. There you go. And that's what it should look like when you send this thing in to me. Okay? And I'm going to do one more for you really quick, okay? So I'm going to pause while I bring that up. This is the B, 11B week. And again, it's the same process that we're going to go. I'm going to go into Model Space. There we go. In Model Space, I'm going to go to Home. I'm going to right-click and make sure set my current view as home. That way it won't go in and out on me. I'm going to kind of come back to the top view and look at the geometry that I have. Now I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this object that Mike has here, and I'm going, what is the face that gives me the most bang for my buck, I guess? And what I'm seeing with this is I could use this one would be a good one. But I've got a piece that's cut out here and a piece that's cut out here. You can see it right there. I'm thinking I want to use this end, this right side here, and extrude a piece all the way back. So that's what I'm going to do. So again, the first thing I'm going to do is go up to my layers. I'm going to go into, I've got to pick the 0 here because I want to go into my construction right here and then freeze that layer just so I have less geometry in the way. There we go. A little simpler there. Okay. And if I wanted to, I could also, it might help to freeze the hidden lines. There we go. A little more geometry. Okay. This now looks more 3D, doesn't it? Because we've gotten rid of the hidden lines. So here we go. I'm going to go into Home. Oh, actually, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to use this right now. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. Okay, well, this one I can't really show you a trick, but I'll show you one in a minute. It's called P-Edit. But right now I want to just go up. Again, I think I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to go to my blue, and I'm going to pick a little color that you can see pretty well. And then I'm going to also create my new layer, polyline. You don't have to do this. You don't have to create a polyline layer. I'm just doing it so you can see a little more clearly what I'm doing with my objects. And I'm going to pick the magenta again. You can just use the object layer color that's already there. Okay? So what I know is that this line here isn't anything because that's this cutout that's here. And this is this cutout that's there. So I'm interested in this outside geometry right there. Okay? So I'm going to go up to my friend polyline and I'm going to go get into my new color so it's easy for you to see. And pick, 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 and see close. Okay. Then I'm going to go into my 3D view here by going to Home, and I need a length here because I need to extrude it that length. Okay. So I'm going to go over here to my inquiry, and I'm going to pick from here and go to there. And according to this, it says 3.5 up here. So I'm going to go extrude, and I'm going to pick that and go enter and type in 3.5. Oops, 3.5, Doug. 3.5. There we go. And if I go to a solid, you can see that I've just extruded that as a solid. Okay? Now we're going to go back into here, and I'm looking at this. I think I need to lay this down a little bit, and I'm going to have to cut off this corner here. So I'm going to go back up to here, and I'm going to go to my 3D rotate. I'm going to grab this little corner here. This time I'm going to go to the green one. I'm going to lay it down 90, I think. Let's see if it goes the right way. Oh, went the wrong way. So for me, it's easier just to grab it again, pick it again, and type in 180. Then I'm going undo. Okay? 180. There it is. That's faster for me than it is to go undo and then redo it. So move, and I'm going to set this right about here. And what I know is that I need to rotate it again because it has to be in this plane. Now, I know this is getting a little bit confusing, but just think about what you got going on here. Okay? It looks to me like I've got to bring this forward. Okay, so let's see if we can make this look a little bit. So I'm going to go to my 3D rotate, grab this right here, and I'm going to roll it towards me. And let's try 90 this time. There it is. Ooh, that looks good. That's looking good. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. If we go back up and turn on our hidden lines, okay, you can see this hidden line right here is this line right there running underneath there. Okay. So now it looks like we have a couple cutouts and we have an angle. So let's do our angle first. So again, I'm going to just draw a couple little helpful lines here, just to make sure you're in ortho, going from that point to that point. And then I'm going to do my polyline. Okay. Escape, and I'll throw these two away. Come on. Oh, look at this. Look, look, look. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. Now, that's great that I made a mistake. I didn't catch that corner right there. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the grip, and I'm going to pull it and go right to the right there is perpendicular. You could also, if you wanted to have, this is a good one to have on right now, and that is in your OSNAPs intersection. That would have grabbed that also. That would have been great. I don't need to insert. So I've got endpoint, midpoint. Probably don't need center because I'm not doing anything with circles. So midpoint, endpoint, intersection, and perpendicular are good ones to have here. Okay, so I'm going to grab that and throw that away. There we go. Now, this is going to be a subtraction, so I want to lay this up here and subtract that area right there. So I'm going to extrude this. And again, it doesn't really matter how much I extrude it, as long as it's wider than this piece here. Okay? So then we're going to go to 3D rotate, pick here, And let's try minus 90. When you work with this a lot, it will work. I flipped it the wrong way. So I'm just going to grab it again, pick that corner, pick my red, and go 180. Again, that's for me faster than trying to go back. Now I'm going to move this. I'm going to grab that corner and lay that right up there on that corner. And let's go into the 3D wireframe just to make sure. Oh, look, it looks great. Let's see here. Oh, we have a problem here. So that whole thing, when I created that thing, was not correct. I really made a mistake when I made that. So I'm going to have to remake this. And those are things that are critical, because I'll show you what happens. Let's subtract this just for fun. We'll subtract it just for fun. Subtract, so I pick the object I want to subtract from, enter, so the object I want to subtract, and oops, we left that whole corner on there. Not a good thing, okay? So let's back up here, throw that away, and let's try and make this again. Okay, let's see if Doug can do a better job. Okay, I'm going to go F8. And I may have not had more ortho on. I'm thinking that's probably what happened. Go to polyline. I'm going to start right in that corner. Okay, and I'm going to go to here, and go to C for close. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Everything looks a lot better now. Okay, I'm going to throw this and this away, and then I'm going to extrude. I like showing you mistakes just because you got to see that I make them, everybody makes them, and you can fix them. That's the important thing. Okay, so we're going to pick this. I think we learned our lesson last time. And pick the red one, and this time we'll go minus 90. There. Did I flip it the wrong way again? I did. So pick it. And 180. There we go. I'm going to go into 3D wireframe, pick this, move this, pick that corner right there, and set it on that corner right there. Okay? Notice everything is good there. So I'm going to subtract that now. I'm going to subtract, pick, enter, pick, enter. I just subtracted that. Okay? Now, is that starting to look a little bit like that? Let's take this over here. Let's copy this. Rotate it right there. Let's pick that. Let's roll it over. And got a 50-50 chance because I'm not remembering. And don't worry about it. You'll get it if you work it on a regular basis. There we go. Okay? So now let's go up and look at that in this view up here. Okay, things are looking good. Oh, looks like we got a little corner over here we got to cut off too. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. Now I could just leave this there. Let's throw that one away and let's just leave this right there. Let's use this one here. Okay. So I'm going to go and grab my polyline again, and I'm going to use my geometry that I got right here. To there, to there, and C for close, and let's extrude it right in place. Now notice it's not letting me grab that, so I'm going to pick that. Oh, there it did let me grab it. So let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can go in there, and there it is. Did you see how it highlighted all the 3 angles there? Go over to extrude, just bring it right up here. I could bring it right up to the corner if I wanted to. And now I go to subtract. I pick the object I want to subtract, enter, pick the object I want to subtract. There we go. There it is. Now let's go up on top and take a look. Hey, we're looking good now. Things are looking good. Looks like I need to do some work here and subtract these items here. So let's do that together. I have an idea. This is great. I haven't done this before. This works pretty good. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to move this. We're going to lay it right over here on that corner there. And I'm going to 3D rotate it from that corner. And minus 90. Actually, go the wrong way. I knew it. I knew it. Oops. I can pick my direction. There it is. And move it on top. Just grab it, bring it right over here, set it right on top. Now, if we go up on top and look, okay, we can see that we have an area here. I'm going to get to show you something new. Okay. Over here, you'll see in modeling, you'll see this thing called a box. Okay. I'm going to pick that box. I'm going to go in here, and it's going to let me pick my geometry, and it's not. Let's see if it's going to let me pick my geometry, and it's not. Okay, so I can't reach through the solid, so I'm going to go and I'm going to move this. I'm going to move it 3. Then I'm going to go to my box, and I'm going to go grab that corner, that diagonal corner, and I'm going to come straight up. Okay, and I'm going to do this with both of these while I'm here. Okay, great. And I'm going to take both of those. Now I can just move my box back, right? And I moved it how far? 3. Make sure you're in ortho. Let's see what this looks like in 3D. That's what that looks like in 3D. Okay? And let's see what happens when we subtract it. Over here to subtract. Pick, enter, grab that, and there it is. Now let's go up and see on top. There it is. It looks really good. Let's take this, and I'm going to go into 3D wireframe. Take that, and we're going to move this. Oops, I'm not going to move it. We're going to copy it. Excuse me. Copy. Come on. It's early in the morning for me, guys. I haven't had my 3rd cup of coffee yet. So here we go. And set that there. 3D rotate. Our friend 3D rotate. Pick the red. Whatever. Hey, I did it right for once. Now let's go look on top. Everything is covered up. We are golden. Awesome. Throw that away. I'm going to come in here to the layout. I'm going to reach in here in through my viewport. I'm going to make sure it's unlocked. I'm going to go up here to my house. I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to make sure that it's a solid. Okay. And I'm going to then file save it. I'll save as. And normally what I do is go right behind the name of it. Go underscore and my initials, DHH. Save. And then I'm going to send it to myself. Okay? You can do that. So I'm going to go post this, and you guys have a great day, and I'm really glad you were able to help get caught up on this. Okay? Take care. If you have any questions, give me a call. Bye-bye.